Back in the boatyard, work to do. And yeah, you'll see engine replacement in this video. But later on in the video, old sails coming off, getting ready to put new sails on. Yeah, so this is my base for about 8 days. But before that, before the work started, for the guys that hadn't got back to their boats yet, that's SV Far of Lorraine and Phil, and Audacia of Dave and Charlie. I just sent them pictures of their boats to show that the boats are still there. So I'm starting to dismantle the old engine, take as much off it as I can for spare parts, alternator, etc., starter motor, heat exchangers, the whole lot. Salvage what I can for spares, and then it's easier for the guys to carry this motor out here because it's got to go from, let me show you, engine's got to go from there, which is the engine bay, out this little door, which is really just a big hatch, and it's got to come through the heads or the bathroom, got to go out here, up the stairs and out. There's my starter motor that I've salvaged. The alternator is already in storage. And you can see it's penetrating oil all over the place. And yeah, but generally it's going well. I'm disconnecting all the wires and photographing everything as I go. So if we have any problems, we've got some photographic trail. Wish me luck. So when doing anything on a boat, especially dismantling things and you have to put it back together again, take photos of everything. I took photos as I went, so when we put it back together I got some sort of trail. So this is me in my hole in the engine bay. You can see I'm deep into the engine, deep into little corners. You can see those big cables there with the red on. That's trying to get those off, but they're so rusted onto the big house alternator. That's going to be my challenge for the day. But otherwise, yeah, get in there. I've taken off quite a bit off the engine. Most of this side of the engine is stripped. Alternator and starter motor. So yeah, get in there. Right, that's the engine 95% stripped. That's what it looks like now. I'll show you. So it's a whole lot smaller than it was. And yeah, that was a whole day in the hole. But I can't complain. These two guys, Quinton Rutherford and Mark Jermike from Durban, local surf ski paddlers there, are preparing to row this boat across the Atlantic Ocean in a few months' time.
This is after, I think, about 4 hours. What have we been going, Jim? About 4 hours. A bit hot.
Late afternoon, early evening here in Bundaberg Marina. So that's the marina. We are getting to the water one day when the boat's ready. The sun is going down over there, and Viento del Mar is over there somewhere. So this is the system they've rigged. It's like a big gantry that goes through into my engine bay. They'll use, oopsie daisy, knock the work over. They'll use this slider to slide it out, and that I assume goes over the engine, and yeah, ready to haul her out. Not easy. And then got this door is okay. It's this door here, out the shower, out the heads. That's the problem. Gonna be tight. And out she came, Ryan and Mitch flexing some muscle, getting what is probably about 130 kilograms worth of engine out. For those that are interested, this is one of the two Yanmar inboard diesels on board. It is a 1600cc 39 horsepower 3-cylinder diesel engine. Actually, I want to have a look at this. Yeah, it's only around the mount. Yeah, bellows with a different angle. And And there she is. Years and years of service on the boat, 20 years of service, and out she goes. Coming with a forklift to pick her up. Yeah, you go back, you'll be alright. Yeah, buddy. Everything else here, so the fly wheels, the drive plank, everything. Yep. Tools, the whole lot, fingers, everything out of the way. And my shower, toilet, bathroom now looks like a war zone, disaster zone workshop. And this is the engine bay, minus an engine. Wow, lots of cleaning up to do. Can now get stuck in and clean that up. They're also going to, right under that red rag there is where the sail drive clutch is. They're going to service the clutch. It has been slipping a bit, so while the engine's out the way, get that done. Off to town, yeah, from the Marina. So the bus stop, and that's us waiting for the bus. And here it comes, only 5 minutes late, but we are far out. And the trip to town was to take my alternator in for testing. Another day, another bra, or Barbie as they say. This is Peter, a legendary Aussie sailor. Peter worked quite a few years in South Africa and knew some good slang like lekker and totsiens. It was good to hear. Oh, look at that. Sunset sky here in Bundaberg. And we're off for a bra over there. Barbie. Wow. Cheers, some 4X gold. And as close as a bra as we'll get. This is a gas pan. Those are my chops, my sausages and my salmi. And that's dinner.
Been settled here if it's any help to you, champ.
Yeah, I've got there, thanks.
Yeah,
And the engine has arrived. A little bit more in, towards me. Bit more. Bit more. Keep coming. Keep coming. Bit more. Yeah, you clear? And there she is. Now we got to get that complete engine through the door, through the galley, through the saloon, down the companionway, through the heads, into the engine room in the back there. Oh, good luck to us. So it's not a new engine, it's a rebuilt engine. Pretty much all new parts fitted to an older engine, so they say good as new. We'll see. This is the engine hanging precariously in the engine bay. So there it is, sort of in position. They're still going to bolt it down. They're also doing the sail drive, that is this unit here. They've taken the clutch out to lap it to make it a bit rougher so it grips better so it doesn't slip. So that's where the clutch goes in on the sail drive, on this SD40 sail drive. And that has got to be done tomorrow before they can marry the engine to the sail drive over here. So still a bit of work to do, but it's better than the engine was hanging in the air. Ryan, the technician, he wasn't very happy with that engine hanging in the air overnight, and nor was I, to be honest. So they came and put it down on its feet at least. Yeah, it's been a day of blood, sweat and tears. I'll show you the blood. So that's my blood. I caught my arm somewhere, my forearm, and it leaked a bit, it sprayed a bit, and I've cleaned up a bit, that's what's left. And bits and pieces of the engine all over the head still. And yeah, it's a huge mess in the boat at the moment. I've got the heads door, the bathroom door in my cabin. My mattresses are out to dry because they were a bit damp. Yeah, it's just a bit chaotic at the moment, but the intention is to get everything connected and start it tomorrow afternoon, hopefully. Fingers crossed. So this is my forearm where I caught it on the, I'm not sure where, but it splattered all over the doorway. Doesn't look too dramatic, but it certainly it was a gusher. On my way to Brisbane, still here in Bundaberg, catching buses, and then hire a car, and then drive about 4 hours to Brisbane, collect the sails, hopefully, and possibly stay over tonight at David and Pam Becker. Good to see them after a while. That's the plan anyway. Let's see how it pans out. And there it is, main sail and the stack pack that the sail packs into. But yeah, it pretty much fills the back of this Mazda. Getting a special tour here of Malula Bar from David Becker, and Pam's exploring. But yeah, really cool spot. And look at that. Oh, thanks Dave, thanks Pam for the night over, all the beers, and then the coffee in the morning. Cheers. So the sail out the car, useful little hatchback, and I'm going to store the sail. This is the new sail. I'm going to store it in the dinghy. I think it'll stay dry in there, and yeah, it's not enough space on top of the boat, so until the boat goes back in order, we'll keep it in the dinghy. And finally, it's come from Cape Town via Doha in Qatar, and there it is in the dinghy. And then we'll hoist the dinghy up at the back of the boat and get the sail onto the mast. Hopefully it fits. Time will tell. Good shopping trip today. The drinks cabinet is reasonably well stocked again. My favourites, some Captain Morgan and Great North Breweries seems to be the most popular beer, and it's very nice at the moment in Aussie.
And I thought about and my mum, I think, got a book because she read children's books. Oh, true. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the sailing.
Just helped Neil go up his mast, right up the top there. It's a 54-foot boat, so that mast is really high. I had a good view from up there. You can see the little spinning thing on the top. Went up there and just replaced that, took the old one off, put the new one on. All good. And in between the boatwork, laundry day and boatwork day. Yeah, the joys of sailing. More joys of sailing when your bedroom becomes a workshop. But yeah, that is what it should look like. But most days it's a workshop. So it's prop servicing day, trying to get this anode off. This is the anode, this thing here, and its job is to it's a sacrificial anode. In other words, instead of the prop corroding away, the anode corrodes away. So we've got to replace them every 6 months to a year as they corrode. You can see this one's quite eaten up already, so it's doing its job. And then after that, I've got to grease up the props. So it could be a messy few hours under the boat here. So pumping some grease into the props. Grease gun into the props, and I'll show you in a second how the props pivot, and that's why they need grease. It has to be a waterproof marine grease. So there you can see the grease has oozed out the joints. So I know the chamber inside is full of grease. It's not a waterproof casing, that's why the grease has to be waterproof, but as long as it comes oozing out, I know it's full of grease and it's good to go. So I'll try to show you how the props pivot. There they go. That's turning them the one way. You can see as I turn it, props change angle. There they go one way, and if I turn it all the way, there it goes the other way. and so that might be reverse, and then all the way around that might be forward. And yeah, that's how the props pivot. So when we're sailing and we don't want any resistance from the prop, then it sets itself, the water pressure, the flow over the prop sets itself straight, so then it's in line with the water flow, so there's no resistance. Otherwise, if you've got a normal prop, it stays like that, and you've got a huge amount of resistance as the water flows past. So that's what they talk about when they talk about a folding or a feathering prop. So there's feathered now, and it's good for the sailing position. And it does that automatically. The water flow twists it into the least resistance position. And exciting times opening up. Here's my new sail. It's still in the bags, in its almond sails. And yeah, I'm just holding 15 thumbs that all the fittings are correct, and it'll fit straight onto my mast and boom. Time will tell. I'm going to try and have a look today a bit, just to get an idea. End of a tough day of boat work. Good day. Dinner time. This is my exotic dinner. Last thing I want to do is cook, so I've got sausage and 2-minute noodles and spiced and Coke, no doubt, and sun going down behind me, right about there. Yeah, good day. So the engine wouldn't start when they first tried, and they had to jump start it on Friday. And then this morning I checked around and done a bit of tracing and found that this fuse, which is a 200 amp fuse, and it goes straight to the engine, was blown. Tested it with my trusty old multimeter, and yeah, so lucky it was just a fuse. This is the old one. Replaced it, and for a change things worked first time, and only $22, about 300 rands damage. Whew. Alright, so it's splash day. I'm about half an hour from going back in the water. So pre-going back in the water checks, I've checked all the seacocks, make sure they open so the engines can suck water and cool down. I've checked the oil and the water in the engines, started the engines, a little trial start, make sure they can start. What else have we done? Let me go down below and I'll show you what I've done over the past day or two to get the bottom ready. So all the lines and fenders are ready. There's one of the mooring lines. One is cleat already, fenders are ready to be dropped over the side. You can see the fenders all down the side of the boat. I mustn't forget to unplug the electricity, otherwise I'm going to pull that whole electricity box with the boat. But I'll remember. Dinghy is up in a normal place, so I just winched that up from the ground using the normal lifts that we use to lift it out of the water. So that was fairly straightforward. Motor's also ready to go back on the dinghy after it's been hanging there for 5 months. Surf ski is in its place. Can't leave that behind. So I've packed grease in the rudder mount. This is where the rudder, so this boat's got skeg mounted rudders. In other words, the rudder is mounted on the skeg, which a lot of boats don't have. The benefit of this is if it hits anything, it breaks the skeg, or the skeg protects the rudder. And it also, the boat can sit on the ground on its bottom, resting on the skeg and not on the rudder. So that's the benefit. But I've greased all the pivot points in the props. This is Lanox. It's a lanolin product. Lanolin is an extract from animal hides, animal skin. And yeah, I've used it before. You smear it on the props and it inhibits all the barnacle growth really good for quite a few months, because the barnacles obviously don't like sheepskin or animal fluids. So yeah, I found that quite useful. So the props are done. Had a scuff mark here where the bottom paint, the anti-foul, had gone right through to the, so I've just touched that up with a little bit of extra anti-foul I had left lying in the boat. Always keep a bit of anti-foul handy when your boat's out the water. And this is the famous hatch, the escape hatch underneath the boat. So you can see I'm under the boat now, and this is the escape hatch. So what I've done just for today, I've checked it, so I've made sure all the head mountings are solid. And if I open it, let me put this Lanox down. If I open it, I've sprayed this lanolin all along the all along the rubber. It won't do anything to rubber. It's got no petroleum products, no kerosene or anything in it, so it's pretty safe, and it'll preserve the rubber so that I get a good seal. So at the moment I've checked all my mountings that I've fixed previously. You can see how I've repaired them and sealed them, and hopefully it's going to hold up, because the sea bashes in under here like crazy. So this thing takes an absolute hammering. That's the escape hatch. The use of the escape hatch: if the boat turns upside down, you can still get inside the boat to get things out that you may need, or if you're trapped inside the boat, you can get out through this escape hatch out to the top of the boat, because the boat's upside down. And touch wood, may that never happen. So the boat is still upside down. I haven't packed anything away properly till all the jobs are done, because I keep having to get into hatches and under floors and everywhere under beds to get tools and so on out. Deep freeze is running fine. All the fishing tackle is safe, ready for action. All the sail covers, got new pillows, some have got to be thrown away. Yeah, and in the heads here, which is the bathroom, that's the foresail, that's the jib, ready to go back up. This is the new stack pack where the mainsail packs into when it drops, so that's got to be mounted. And yeah, in there is the engine bay. Hope that's the good engine. I just started her. Hasn't been started for 5 months, and it just clicked into life straight away. Old trusty over there. Again, touch wood. I'm not tempting fate. Sorry, sweating like crazy. It's probably about 30 degrees outside. But yeah, we're just waiting for them. They're running a bit late with the putting the boat back in the water. They're cleaning another boat underneath. But it's not a problem, because the tide was at its maximum low tide about 20 minutes ago. Obviously, you don't want to launch right on the low tide. It's quite shallow in the marina here. Although I'm a shallow draft, I should be okay. But the tide is coming in, so it's getting a bit deeper. I just got to watch though. The river then has quite a strong current in it as the tide pushes into the river. So it could be a little bit of side to side movement with the wind blowing in all directions. So now let's see how we go. Just wanted to show you, this is what a week of boat work leaves your hands looking like. A good deal of grease, bottom paint, all sorts under the fingernails. And man, have I got to scrub, but I'm only going to do it at the end of the week once it's all done, because it's just almost impossible to get it out. Good greasy fingers. This is the berth or the mooring that I'm coming into. So just checking it out. So the idea here is to make sure, check if there's any strong currents. It doesn't look like there's any strong currents, difficult to see. But more importantly, trying to see what the wind is doing, and it feels like the wind is coming from my back. So I'll be coming in stern to, in other words backwards, and I'll be pushing into the wind, which makes it quite a lot easier as opposed to the wind pushing you in. So you can just back in against the wind, makes it a little bit easier. So yeah, and there's not too much wind, it looks okay. That's the boat before me going back in the water, big heavy brute. So yeah, you can see where the straps are under the boat when they lift it up. Peter told me, or gave me a good tip, when you lift out, mark or take photos of where the straps are, so in future they know exactly where to put them when they lift out. This is Peter who's come to help me.
Wind and tide here is catches it. Comes slow, then it goes hard.
Yeah. Peter's quite an experienced sailor, so he's come to help me get the boat in the water, and there we go. Cheers. Passage beer for one of the shorter passages ever. Probably about 100 meters from where we splashed the boat to where I'm moored now. So Peter helped me, and Fiona, his wife, helped me, and all went well. And Ryan, the mechanic, was on the boat, and we tested the engine, and it put it through its paces, and it's brilliant. Even the little click reverse problem we had has disappeared. So exceptionally happy. And this is where I'm moored. I'll show you. And that's me for at least a week. A few more boat jobs to do. My neighbour. And yeah, straight down the jetty there. So you get an idea of the surroundings. The Marina's not too busy at the moment. It's not, sailing season starts on the 1st of May, which is my planned departure. So that is the work yard over there where I was for a few days. And there you can just see the travel lift in the background. And this is the whole Marina. That's the main offices over there. And I'm right in front. So the toilet for the number 2 is close by. Yeah, I can't use the toilets of the boat when in the marina. I shouldn't use it. I don't want my number 2 to go floating down the river. Not very environmentally considerate. And the work continues. Life raft on its way for a service. That thing weighs a ton, so I'm going to go get a wheelbarrow to carry it. They're on top of the boat at the boom, starting to take this sail stack pack off. This is the stack pack. It holds the sail in place, and you can see why I've got a new one. Look at that, totally trashed. So yeah, now I've got to get it off, which is not easy. There's a million little ropes to loosen, and cleats and clamps and shackles. But yeah, that's my project for the day. Getting the sail cover off. It's been an hour of pulling and tugging and untying and so on, but it's coming. Last bit to go. And yeah, she's looking a bit ragged. Probably put a few more rips in her. And she's off. 20 years on there. I suppose didn't really want to come off. But anyway, that's 20 years of pulling and tugging done. Sure. So that's the new sail bag, stack pack. Ready to go on once that'll go on first and then the mainsail. So I've got to get the mainsail off, the old one. Yeah, and it's perfect, almost perfect in size. And the only thing they didn't do is put little sliders there in my toes, little grommets, little sliders to slide onto the boom. So I'm gonna have to go get that done at a sailmaker nearby. Always something. Okay, so here goes, loosening the mainsail, the old one from the mast. You can see each of these little fittings there I've got to loosen up all the way down. I'll show you how many of them are all the way down there. So how it works is this slides up and down the mast, and the sail attaches to that, and obviously it slides all the way to the top. And she's off. That's the old mainsail. It's carried me across 2 oceans, 2/3 of the way around the world. Done well. It's 20 years old, that sail, so it is due for replacement, but well done, old girl. Now to get her folded up and off the boat. And there it is, the new boy, the new cloth engine lying next to the old one. The old one actually doesn't look too bad, all things considered. Just a lot of fraying. And if you look here on the old one, you can see all the patches I've done over here. A few more places on the other side. So far they look pretty identical, bar for a few improvements. On the new one they've got these soft shackle pulley type things, which much less friction on the reefing system. So I like that. But I'm about to put one on top of the other and see how exact they are, holding thumbs. And how's that for sizing? That's the tack. There's the bottom of the corner near the mast. That's the clue, almost spot on the old one. And I've lost a square, probably 1 square meter of sail area, but I'm happy with that. The less sail pushing, the less sail up the better in most conditions. And then you can see here, spot on, almost dead on at the top, at the head of the sail. So very chuffed. It's almost identical, slightly, maybe tiny bit smaller, which is no worries, as they say here in Land of Oz. And there's why I needed a new mainsail. I just pulled on this corner here and the whole thing split apart here. You can see my old patch there. Well, it's just going to carry on splitting everywhere, so Yeah, it was time. It sort of helps me justify the cost. And that's the boat work for now. Still plenty to come, but hopefully in the next video some sailing. So get out there on the blue.